I think in today's picture perfect world, right? Everything looks great. To your point, you're like, oh, Kim, it looked great. But I want to share that it's not, right? Like nothing goes as you think it's going to go. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And that's just, it's inevitable. Mistakes are inevitable, but it really is what you do next that counts, right? I could have given up so many times when I lost money, when I had terrible partners, when I was in toxic relationships. I could have just called it and said, this is how my life will be, but I didn't, and I embraced those mistakes and I learned from them, I grew from them, and I moved forward. And my hope is in sharing my mistakes, it's a permission slip for everyone else to say, oh, well, I'm making the same mistakes, or I've made that mistake, and I can still be successful. You're never too late to do something new. I know people that are in 20-year careers and they want to change. I mean, I was in a 20-year tech career. I'm a beverage entrepreneur now. You can be anything, right? It's never too late to be what you might have been. So what do you want? So many times I have been paralyzed by fear of failure.
Yes.
And I think so many people can relate. I'm just not going to do it because I don't want to fail.
Yes.
But what I love about the buffalo, and if you look at, from a storm perspective, storm's coming, everyone was running away from the storm, right? Because trying to get out of the storm. The buffalo runs into the storm, right? It's bold, it's running through the storm. It gets it faster, it gets to the other side. It's not, so it's not, the storm's not chasing it. It is actually being bold and making those bold moves. And so when I feel fear, I'm like, remind myself, Kim, be the buffalo. Okay, I'm going to go into the storm. I'm going and consciously going into the storm because I know that that is the easiest route, even though it may not seem like that.
Hey friend, I just wanted to thank you so much for stopping by and tuning into the podcast. It means the world to me. There are a lot of great podcasts out there, so it's truly an honor that you've decided to take the time out of your day to listen to mine. I'm really excited to bring on more and more inspirational guests for you. But before we get into it, I wanted to ask you a huge favor. If you're enjoying the show, would you please be so kind as to hit that subscribe button? I've noticed that over 98% of the people that watch our videos aren't subscribed, and subscribing really helps the algorithm put this episode in front of other people who it could help. And be sure to leave a comment sharing what most connects with you. So much love. Kim Perell, welcome to the Let It Be Easy podcast. I am so happy you're here. I am so happy you're here. And I've got to tell you, I love this book, Mistakes That Made Me a Millionaire. Where do we begin? I was thinking about this, leading up to this conversation today. I've known you for 15 years, Kim.
Oh my gosh. Was I always the same? What was it like?
You were always fun, always going for it. I remember you coming into our office with the raffles, talking about resilience and passion and opportunity, and reading the behind the scenes of this book. I've got to say, you've been through it, Kim. You've been through a lot of ups and downs, and I don't think that's obvious by looking at you. Do you assume that most people think that it's been an easier ride than it has been?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Nobody knows what's really happening, right? And so to your point, you knew me, but did you know how, like, the struggles behind the success, right? And all the mistakes and the challenges that I was going through, because, you don't usually share that. And that's why I wanted to write the book, because I want to share that it is hard. It is so hard. And there's so many challenges. And how do we help make those, give visibility to them so other people can learn and, embrace the mistakes and kind of make sure they hopefully don't make the same I did.
It's interesting. I actually found reading this book very soothing, because I think sometimes if you have a business or if you're a leader of any kind, you think, oh, it's just me. Oh, I messed up, or I lost money, or I hired someone who just wasn't a fit. And then you don't want to talk about it necessarily, right? You don't want to go, hey, I just made a big screw up over here. So reading everything that you shared, and there are 10 mistakes. I'm sharing some of my favorites too today. But I wanted to ask you, what was it like revisiting these? Were you laughing all the time? Did you want to cry looking back? How did it feel to recap your life under this frame of mistakes?
It was emotional, to be honest. I was doing their audio recording last week, and I was I was reading the first chapter and I started to cry because it was so emotional going through the journey again and just being to the edge and thinking everything is never going to work out and then having such huge success.
Mm-hmm.
It was wow, like one of those moments where you're like, wow, I can't believe this actually happened. Like, I can't believe I actually started at my kitchen table and I made it this far, right? Like,
Yes,
what
you
is it?
survived.
I survived. And yeah, so I think it was more emotional that I can't believe this actually happened to me.
Oh my gosh. And you actually say in your introduction, the truth no one tells you isn't that right? Isn't that how it is? You say, after 2 decades of building and selling companies, investing in more than 100 startups, managing thousands of employees, and making every mistake imaginable, I've discovered something counterintuitive. The biggest mistake you can make is letting your mistakes break you instead of make you. I've made every mistake you can imagine. I've overpromised, underdelivered, miscalculated, overtrusted, held on too long, and let go too soon. I've made mistakes that cost me $5 and mistakes that cost me $5 million. I've hired the wrong people, ignored my gut, doubted myself, spent too much, saved too little, hesitated when I should have acted, and acted when I should have waited. I've made mistakes that destroyed partnerships and mistakes that built fortunes. But here's what I've learned. Mistakes don't stop you from succeeding. It's failing to move forward after making them that does. And then you shared too that, from a young age, we're taught to avoid mistakes at all costs. And you speak about your dad a lot in this book and your mom, which I love, and your grandma. But you say that we get it all wrong. And the result is unrealized potential, abandoned projects, and a culture that champions perfection while concealing the messy middle where real growth happens. Oh, preach! I have to say, reading this, what is it that made you want to write a book specifically about mistakes, the things that make us feel ashamed and guilty and embarrassed and want to run and hide and want to throw our hands up in the air and go, I'm not cut out for this. I mean,
Yeah.
those moments, I think we all have them, like, it's not for me. I overestimated myself.
Yes. Well, I think in today's picture perfect world, right?
Mm.
Everything looks great. To your point, you're like, oh, Kim, it looked great. But I
Yeah.
want to share that it's not, right? Like
Mhm.
nothing goes as you think it's going to go.
Mhm.
Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And that's just it's inevitable. Mistakes are inevitable, but it really is what you do next that counts, right? I could have
Mhm.
given up so many times when I lost money, when I had
Mhm.
terrible partners, when I was in
Mhm.
toxic relationships. I
Mhm.
could have just called it and said, this is how my life will be. But I didn't, and I embraced those mistakes and I learned from them. I grew from them and I
Mhm.
moved forward. And my hope is in sharing my mistakes, it's a
Mhm.
permission slip for everyone else to say, oh, well, I'm making the same mistakes or I've made that mistake and I can still be successful.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And because you are this investor in so many companies and you mentor a lot of people, do you find that the winners who you just think, gosh, we're really going to go the distance are those who are resilient? Does it just come back to this grit, this ability to go, okay, back to the drawing board? And there are many examples in this book. Juni, I mean,
My gosh, I know. It's insane, right? And I
yes.
also wanted to share because right now I'm building so many companies. So I'm
Yeah.
in it, right? Like I'm in it.
Hmm.
And usually you share at the end where, oh, I sold my company for 235 million and all's perfect. I
Hmm.
wanted to actually give it insight into where things are happening right now. So sharing
Hmm.
stories of businesses I'm currently running and
Hmm.
the challenges they're facing and how I'm reacting like pretty much real time. Actually, it was
Hmm.
interesting. I was talking about one of the companies and the book could keep going, right? Because it stops at a certain point in the story, but the
Hmm.
businesses will continue on. So writing about things as they're actually happening is
Hmm.
very therapeutic because you're saying, listen, I'm in it. I'm in it with everyone else. Things are going wrong every single day. And I wanted to remind, it's funny if when I was, younger, I wouldn't have shared them. So I guess the growth to myself is that it's okay. And I'm trying to make sure other people can see the same thing in themselves and say, "Oh, it's okay. Things happen. It's okay. We'll get through this. We've got this." And
Hmm.
giving practical advice is how I got through some of these very terrible moments
Hmm.
and hopefully giving like the playbook so others can learn from my mistakes too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. When it comes to, and it's funny because I know at the end you say, look, I'm a work in progress. I'll continue to make loads of mistakes. I've saved a little passage I want to read later about that. But there could be a part 2 book.
Oh, more
There
mistakes.
will be.
Yeah. Right?
There will be. Did you?
Right? It's going to keep happening.
I mean, this is guaranteed. And you share in the book too, because I've heard you say this in person as well, that things take twice as long, cost twice as much, right? We have the best laid plans and then things go awry, it's part of the process. But did you ever think at a certain point that, after a certain level of success, hey, it's going to be easy now. Like I've learned, I've got access to this information now. I'm a wise guru. I've got it all figured out. Everything is going to be smooth sailing.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's why, honestly, when I started writing the book is because I went from, my kitchen table to $1 billion. And then I started back at my kitchen table and it was so hard. And I had empathy for everyone else that's going through it too, because you forget over time after you build the infrastructure and the support system, how hard it is to go back and be doing it again. And it's just as hard for me now as it was 20 years ago.
Is it that? And I actually find that encouraging because no matter what, we're all still almost starting at zero. Like it's right. Whenever we go into a new venture, and I know pivoting is one of your big lessons here. I mean, I was reading about shoe privé. I mean,
oh my gosh. I mean, how many shoes did I have? I've had so many terrible failures.
Could you tell us a bit about Shoe Privé and like where it came along in the journey? Because it wasn't your first business. And to me, reading it, I'm like, yeah, that seems like a great model.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Online subscription shoe company. It sounded like a great idea. Women love shoes. We can do it, every month you pick a new shoe.
Yeah.
Well, apparently women do like shoes, but they don't want a shoe every month. And so the shoes started stacking up in the inventory and then we're like, oh my God, we got to pivot. And unfortunately, even the best ideas, when it comes to execution, you just don't know what the market's going to want or the market's going to need. And you think it's a great idea, but when it collides with reality, like that's when you really know. And so, I mean, I always say that you just got to get to market. Like, don't wait till it's 100%. Don't wait till you're 100% ready. Now, granted, it could fail, and Shoe Privé failed. So I'm not saying I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I was wrong. I made a wrong bet, and that's just life. But again, what did I learn from that is that you actually have to get into market and get customer feedback as soon as possible, right? Just with a minimum viable product. And people are like, oh, I'm going to do this amazing dream. And I'm like, dream big, start small, start now. With what you have, where you are, go down to your local farmer's market and try to sell something. Go door to door, figure it out. Like there's easier, go online, try to, because that's where you really learn. And that's where you get the feedback. And if you're back to the adaptability, if you take that feedback as a gift, like feedback's a gift, if you can hear it and then adjust accordingly, you'll be more successful.
And I love the idea of speed, test, go versus sometimes I think in the preparation, Kim, we're hiding a bit. We're like, oh, I'll have this perfect plan and I'll release it. And that's nice, but you're not open to rejection yet. Right. Like when it's just you with your business plans and your team, that's one thing. But it's when you go out there and people like cancel, don't want it. It happens. And this Shoe Privé business, I just thought it was so fascinating learning about it. This was after success. You've already had success. Right. And so it's so easy to go, well, what happened? Like, actually, Kim, sometimes people say to me, have I lost my touch?
Yes.
It just said they've had some success and they pivot and they don't know and they're uncertain. They're like, I used to have it and I haven't got it anymore. What do you say if someone comes up with that thought?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think statistically, the more you fail, the more likely likely you will succeed, right? So for me, I guess the more I'm failing, the higher my chances are that I actually be successful. And so many entrepreneurs and people are afraid of that failure. And honestly, it hurts. And to your point, I'd had massive success and I thought, oh, I'll just do this. It'll be easy. Nothing's ever easy, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
Just market and things that there is some luck that goes with life. So, the first company that I was with, it was a brilliant idea, bad timing, right? It was just too early. So sometimes it's too early, sometimes it's too late, sometimes you just happen to hit it just at the right time and like a rocket ship. And you can't control that, right? You can only control where you're at and how you adapt to the situation. So with Schubert when I invested and I started, I had these great ideas, but then we should have pivoted faster. I mean, we tried and just the market wasn't, where it was at, and online subscription, e-commerce, just it didn't work out. Then you have to know when to quit.
Yes, when to pivot versus when to quit. And I think that sometimes this can be tricky because with pivoting, what I love that you share too in this book is how with your first business, everyone was talking about social media. This is going back a little bit. And you were like kind of unsure. You were like, well, how big is this going to be? And I stick with my try and true methods. How do you feel of, looking back at that and now being such a fast adopter of so many things? I feel like you're like the most rapid person, so, at the starting line, let's go. What do you say about pivoting versus quitting? Because I know that sometimes people think, I don't know if this is a sign. Like, is it just too much, or is it just a lovely little redirect, a little course correction? Like, how do you define the difference?
I mean, for me, I love pivoting is so essential. When I look at all the companies I've invested in, and you look at all the companies in the world, 90% have pivoted, right? So that is a key to success of a business owner, is understanding where you are, understanding the market, and then changing accordingly. Like if you look at the most successful companies, YouTube started as a dating site, Twitter, a podcast platform, Shopify sold snowboards. I mean, we're so far out of where they actually began, right? But having that ability to adapt is so key. And I mean, I've seen that with my own companies, but being so steadfast in my first company when social media was on the rise, right? It was very early on. I was an early digital adopter. Social media came in as a new media channel. And I was like, this social media thing is not going to work. Like, who would post their picture on the internet? Famous last words. Yeah, so I thought I was the expert, and it was a great realization that you always have to be a student of life, always learning, always evolving, always teaching yourself new skills. So when I finally adopted social media as a media channel for my own company, I mean, it turned into a $200 million business. But
Wow.
at first I was, so it's interesting to look back and think, okay, well, how do we change our mindset to be more open to new ideas, right? And I think that's where magic happens, is just open to, well, maybe people are going to post their pictures on the internet.
Maybe they will. Look at us now. It's all we do. So when it comes to pivoting, do you think that people just fear okay, I don't know about this, someone else is an expert and I'm used to being the expert and like I'm important, and there's like a lack of humility? Or do you think we're just sometimes blindsided because we're not paying attention? Like what do you think it is? Because I think in 2025, a lot of people are needing to pivot. The market feels a bit trickier in certain industries. And then the question comes up, like, is there something I'm ignoring? Do I have a blind spot, or am I just not made for this? Like,
I think it's two. I think one is ego. Mine was ego. I knew it. I know it better. I know that. And I didn't. And then two is being scared of something new, right? When you think of AI today and just new things happening, and it's scary to do new things. So it's easier just to say, it's not happening, as opposed to trying something new and maybe failing, or maybe looking, you worried you're going to look stupid, or you're going to ask questions that make you look stupid. So I think making sure that you're really believing that you can learn new things, right? And I'm going to put myself in places that I will have to learn. So when you think of AI and the adoption of AI into businesses today, it is going to happen, right? So maybe whoever's sitting there thinking it's not happening, it's happening right now. Is a question of how are you going to adapt and learn and integrate it into your business to get an optimal outcome. But it's easier not to, right? Don't you think it's easier to just say,
or so we think. Yeah, or so we think for a minute, right? And then we're like, oh my gosh, where are all the people? It's interesting. Out of these 10 mistakes, Kim, do you have a favorite one? Like, are you like, oh, my favorite mistake?
What is
I
your
have 4. I mean, well, look, the 10 are wonderful, but I've highlighted my favorite 4
I love
here.
it. Well, which are your favorite? I love to know. I mean, I love them. It's like having 4 children. I love them all equally.
I just love my mistakes.
Yes, we have all mistakes. And when I was coming up with the 10, obviously I could have written 25 mistakes, but I was really trying to hone in on what are the biggest mistakes that have impacted my success, right? Like the
Yes.
biggest ones. And I've had so many years of experience now. Which ones could I really share that are universally true? And that
Yes.
it's like then the book's written so you could read and you could look at here's the 10 mistakes and you can kind of flip to that chapter. You don't have to read from 1 to 10. You could start at 10, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You don't even have to read this book in order. And it's not just for business owners. Like this
Oh,
book,
no.
it applies to, I mean, this is mistakes universal, life, struggle, having to get back up. This is just part of being human. And so, I mean, I just think this applies to so many people in different situations. But my 4, I mean, like
I
I
tell
said,
you, I'm so excited to hear.
mistake number 2, trying to do everything alone. I think women do that a lot too. It's like, I got it, I got it, I got it. And then everyone's exhausted. Mistake number 5, staying too long. Ooh, I like that one. Number 6, which we've touched on, failing to pivot. And I do want to speak about Juni and K-Skin because they are current and it's hilarious. The yellow step.
Oh,
um, and then number 9, quitting too soon, which is interesting because staying too long is number 5, right? So that's also a dance. It's like quitting too soon and staying too long. So when it comes to, I'd love to dive into some of the most recent
yes.
examples
Oh, God.
of some challenges that you've had. The first being Juni tea. I remember when it was Sama tea. I had a hot box of Sama tea.
Right? I'm gonna
And
send you one. I'm like, oh, it's delicious. It was so amazing. I loved it. I spent so much time perfecting it.
could you tell us a bit about that story, like how it started, and then the Ellen and everything, and then the supermarket disaster, the trade?
Oh,
Could you
goodness.
just paint a little picture as to like, oh my, I felt for you reading this. I was like, oh boy.
So I love, I love entrepreneurs. I love business ideas. I love helping people bring ideas to life. And I'm really focused on purpose-driven founders.
Mhm,
And when I met Jay Shetty and his wife, Roddy, they really wanted to find a way to bridge their digital values and
mhm,
mindfulness and health and wellness with something physical. And they loved tea. And tea was something that was they're from their Indian British heritage.
mhm,
Tea is something very personal to them. And it was a ritual they did growing up with their families. I mean, you can relate, right? And it's a ritual
mhm,
they did together. And they wanted to disrupt the tea category.
mhm,
And so I'm like, okay, let's use data. Let's see if there's a market opportunity. There was. And when you looked at the opportunity is there's old school tea like Snapple and Lipton. It's terrible for you. It's filled with sugar. You really
mhm,
shouldn't drink it. I mean,
mhm. Yeah, 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 exactly.
we're
Mhm,
trying to be healthy.
mhm,
And how do we do tea differently? A tea 2.0. And we started with tea bags. This was during COVID. We
uh-huh,
created these amazing teas with adaptogens and they're filled with ashwagandha and lion's mane and reishi. And we went and we were doing taste testings at Jay and Roddy's house all the time, trying to perfect them, right? This goes back to trying to get it perfect, and you want it to be perfect because you want the customer to really love the tea, and they were delicious. So
mhm.
then we went to market. It was a big fanfare. Jay was on Ellen. We were written up in everything. It was called Summer
I
Tea. It was a
know.
beautiful launch. And then we realized people just weren't buying tea that fast, right?
And I bet you were like, we've got this in the bag.
And
This is
that,
it. Like, yeah. Yes. I mean, an Ellen appearance. I mean, wow. Like you
yeah,
said,
we were
everyone was
drinking
reaching
tea on
out to you.
Ellen. I mean, it was
Yeah.
like we're legit, right? We got
Yes.
it was everywhere, which is
Mhm,
amazing. Times Square,
mhm,
billboards, but then really reality, like we collided with reality. So yes, there's a big market for tea. Yes, there's an opportunity, but the sales were slower than expected because, and we had a reoccurring subscription, like we had
mhm,
the business principles right, but the customer um, repeat rate was so slow. So it
mm,
was really like, how are we going to
yeah.
build a huge company? It's going to take a long time to build a
Mhm,
really big company.
mhm,
So then we really like thought back, okay, well, how do we pivot this? How do we pivot? Right?
mhm,
Because we could just keep on keeping on.
mhm,
Probably not the best idea. And we wouldn't be able to cover expenses. So we had to
mhm,
think, okay, how do we take our vision was to, you know, was to really create a product that delivered health and happiness in every sip. So we decided, well, we could also do that in a can, right? The average consumer drinks 7 beverages a day. So what a can was much more functional. It's grab and go, it's fun. And we thought, okay, well, we could take the same tea and put it into a can. And the same ingredients, ashwagandha, lion's mane, all these amazing ingredients for you. But now we'd make it cold and just ready to drink, which is, you see at the supermarket all day long, which is amazing.
Yep.
Then COVID hits and aluminum prices for cans go up 67%. So now we're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? I mean, the story just continues. Anyway, so we obviously, we said, okay, well, we have to now do a pricing pivot and increase our prices because we can't afford to go to market with the current formula and can, and we had to price it accordingly. It's a premium product. And so we increased our prices so we could actually make money off it. We went to Erewhon with their amazing partner. We did another launch. It was, well, actually before that, then then we got a call from my lawyer saying that our name was in trademark violation. And we were like, oh my gosh, you got to be, this is like 10 days before going into Erewhon.
Oh my gosh.
And again, we had to find a new name. It could only be 4 letters because Sama was 4 letters. We didn't have enough time to change anything else. So we did this huge trademark search. And if anyone out there knows, it's so hard to find a name that's, registered, that's available in the category. Anyway, it was like a stroke of bad luck.
Yes.
We changed our name, right?
Yes.
Okay, we got a new name.
The first time, yes.
Not the first time. Found a new name, Joy. It was amazing. We loved the name. It was, it sparked joy. It was now we're in market with Joya. We did another launch, fanfare. We did a launch party. We had a bus. We had Joyo going through the streets of LA. I mean, it was amazing. And then we got another call. I mean, can you believe it?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is like one.
It's like a series of bad luck, right? And you're going, okay, what are we going to do now? And so we got, a $1 billion company came in and gave us a cease and desist. And they said, your name's in violation or too close to our name.
So there was Sama, there was Joyo. You had to ditch Sama. You had to ditch Joyo.
Had to ditch Joyo. No, we had to find a new name.
And this was right before you were about to go into Erewhon, right?
Oh, no, now we were in Erewhon. Now we had to go, now we were going to the Target. Like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
What are we going to do now? So we go back to finding a new name. And it's so hard to find a new name. Now, at that point, you could have quit, right? You could have said, this is crazy. Like, I'm exhausted. I've had different products. I have different names. But the vision and the passion were still there. And so many entrepreneurs and people that have big dreams can relate. You have a vision. You just have to know, to your point, when to quit and when to keep going. We found, so we talked to Jane Roddy and they're like, no, we really, like, this is our dream. We're going to do this. And I'm like, okay, well, let's do it. So we found a new name. And then Jay and Roddy came up with the name Juni, which stands for Just You and I. And it really reflected that moment of connection, that moment of togetherness, that ritual that you have drinking, now a tea. And, it was and it's a beautiful name. So then we rebranded again. Went back to market. And
here we are. But here we are with Juni tea and offering. Like, Juni, here we are.
It is so delicious, right? I think the best part is it's now available in 5,000 stores nationwide.
Wow.
And it's had such great traction. The customers love it. It's 0 sugar, 5 calories. It's good for you. It's organic. And I feel so proud drinking it. And so reminding yourself that be open to the pivot. It could be a pricing pivot. It could be a product pivot. It could be a people pivot. Sometimes you just have the wrong people. There's so many, I talk about 5 pivots in my book, and hopefully people that are going through challenges or your businesses has stalled or you can't find product market fit. One of these 5 pivots is the pivot you need to be the catalyst to your success. And I like to share the 5 pivots that I've gone through and that I know are huge unlocks to people that are stuck, right? And stuck in places that they're like, okay, I have a great idea, but I can't figure out how to get it to the next level. And I
And
really
this,
share that
yeah,
story,
yeah.
right? Because that story is like live right now.
I mean, this is one of the reasons I love the book too. It's so practical. You give these very specific steps that are easy to follow. I was already texting you some of my favorite takeaways, but think about that. Someone might just look at you and say maybe a picture of Jay holding a can with some cool background, going, "Wow, just Kim, she just gets it so easy. She just lands on, she just chooses the best horses. Like she's just a winner." And then it's like, well, we started with a hot tea, and then we had a new tea with a different name. We had like 2 legal reach outs. And
Yeah.
then I mean, there are so many stages to get to where we are. And as you said, there will be more. Who knows? Maybe as you expand internationally, et cetera, like there'll just be more and more. And so I have to say, I found it entertaining, like just partly because it is funny that like these things happen. You got to go, God is funny.
I was lying on the floor. I can remember lying on the floor. I'm like on family vacation, and
Oh,
my husband John is
yeah.
going, "What is what? Give up! Like call it a day, right? I mean, babe, like it's not worth it, you know." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, I can do this. I can do hard things, right?" Like,
Oh my gosh. And similarly with K Skin, I mean, which is, and then you've also taken on the CEO jobs. I'm like, whoa, you'll just like, okay, let you onward, marching. It's like, okay, so if the budget's limited, let's go. Let's keep moving, momentum. But with K Skin too, you created this great product, completely different to anything else that it didn't leave a screen on the skin. And then there was like an issue is creating like yellowy skin. And then you had this social media, all these kind of complaints. And that, I mean, that's horrifying, right? For a business owner, you're like, oh, could you tell us a bit about that? Because
yeah.
I know so many people, Kim, who would love to do more, but they're just terrified of even a wink of backlash, one negative comment,
Oh, and
one thumbs down. People are like, I will run for the hills. I will choose my miserable job for the rest of my life to not get one thumbs down.
oh my gosh, but that's so
Mhm.
sad though,
I
right?
agree. Yes.
To share, like to your point, I created an amazing sunscreen product
Mm-hmm.
with model Winnie Harlow, who
Mm-hmm.
has vitiligo, and she, because of her multicolored skin tone, we wanted to create a
Mm-hmm.
sunscreen that worked across all skin tones and types and colors.
Mm-hmm.
And so we created this amazing sunscreen, and we used
Mm-hmm.
this amazing ingredient called rutin, which is
Mm-hmm.
yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And we we launched in 250 Sephora stores with our incredible sunscreen that was going to just knock your socks off. And then once we launched, so now we're in market, it was really hard to do. I mean, we've gone through a lot of
Oh.
testing, we went through a lot of hoops, we raised a lot of capital. We got to market, we put the sunscreen on the shelves. We had a huge, launch coming out party. And then we started hearing rumblings of customers saying, I was dripping, like it turned my skin yellow. And we're like, it must be
Yeah.
yellow. Oh my gosh. The drum beats gets louder, right? And this is jump louder and louder. Like a few more complaints on fair skin that maybe it was their skin was dripping yellow or they look like the sun. Okay, well, then we get the scathing review on YouTube with scathing, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
scorched earth review that goes viral about how this sunscreen has turned me yellow.
Oh my gosh.
This is could you get in a worse position would to have, to your point, one scathing review? This has gone viral. So this goes viral. We have to take
Yes.
all of the mineral sunscreens off the shelves of Sephora.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God they were such an amazing partner because
Mm-hmm.
listen, things happen, right? And
Yes.
that's what mistakes happen. The mistake was that the formulator had increased the rutin in production. It didn't have anything to do with the SPF. Obviously, the formula worked, but
Mm,
it did have a yellow tint now. And so
yes.
we had, it was, oh gosh,
I felt for
memories are terrible,
but
right?
but this is why it's so helpful because because like you said, people don't want if when you were young, you wouldn't talk about your mistakes. I think we're just so ashamed and we hold them so close. And so for someone to just be like, hey. Like
Yeah.
and I have to say it made me laugh when you were talking about the photo shoot and then someone said something about it looks like there was some like little yellow marks. I was like, oh no. And then the customs thing so you went to Canada to launch in Sephora there, right? Which is where Winnie's from.
Yes.
And then they wouldn't let the products through.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the way I know. So I honestly usually tell people like the worst thing that will happen to me and the best thing. So yay, I get into
Yeah.
Canada
Yeah.
with K Skin, and
Yeah.
then oh, I cannot get my product out of custom. So we're at a launch event with thousands of people and no product. Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
But you made it work. Like
But
it.
work. The show must go on. You have to just show up and just be honest and transparent and
Hmm.
assume that people can relate to that vulnerability of I wish it was different, but
Yes.
it's not. But
Yes.
keep moving forward anyway. And I think that's the whole point. The mistakes don't define you. What you
Hmm.
do next does. So the mistake,
Hmm.
I could have said, I give up, but I didn't. I said, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to be transparent. And eventually they have to make it out of customs. I mean, I
Mm.
can't hold them forever. The problem is I didn't know if it was 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It says something like an undetermined time. And I was like, no, that's such customs language and it's so scary. Like, I know. But
There's no
but again,
reason, right? Oh,
I
so exhausting.
know.
I can't even
Do,
believe all this happened.
do you find that you have to have a sense of humor about this stuff after a point too? I know there's the freakouts and the long walks that you need and put the phone away, but you sometimes just like, you just have to laugh.
Oh, there is, I mean, when I talk about Murphy's Law, right?
Yeah.
Anything that goes wrong can go wrong. My law, after doing this for 20 years, anything that can go wrong will go wrong at the worst possible time, like when you least expect it. So I'm always prepared. I'm
Mhm.
built, my resilience muscle is so big,
Mhm.
right? I'm
Mm.
constantly getting knocked down. It's a game. At this point,
Yeah,
Susie, yes, it's a game.
it's a
I
game.
get knocked
It's a
down, I
game.
have to get back up. I get knocked down, I have to get back up.
And this is one question I had as I was reading. Sometimes, as a leader, if you have a team, of course, you have clients, you have people who work with you, and just say there's a mistake happening. And in like we, of course, with hindsight, we learn the lessons, and it can even be funny later. But in the moment, it's just sheer panic and like, oh my gosh, this might just all go tits up. Like you lose money, or all sorts of things could happen. How do you balance like navigating going like getting through something while also keeping everyone encouraged, because you don't want to go in and go, I'm really worried, guys. Like they, because you have to you have to still lead but
Right.
also handle the situation. How do you kind of strike the balance there?
It's like, I think it's a skill that's been learned over years, to be honest, right?
Hmm.
Because at first,
Hmm.
if this would have happened to me 20 years ago, I would be underneath my desk crying, right? Like, I mean,
Oh,
let's be honest. Like, but I've now
yes.
learned that I have the confidence that no matter what happens, I know I'll find a way through. So that's just
Hmm.
learned with all these mistakes, learning that I will be okay. Even if it fails, I will be okay. If the worst thing, and I always ask myself, what's the worst thing that could happen? Okay, well, the worst thing that could happen, I lose some money that I invested, the business
Hmm.
goes under, and I failed. But failing does not make you a failure. And I think that's the
Hmm.
big unlock for many people. It's like, I failed. That's yes, but that does not make
Hmm.
you a failure. So you have to separate
Hmm.
yourself from that mindset, right?
You speak about identity and like your job being your identity or your success, your identity. And like if anything happens and you feel like you're so shaky, but
Right.
I understand and I know that it's separate. So if, for example, there's something terrible happening, but of course you have to project optimism, which you naturally possess. But investors are worried and clients are worried, team members are worried. Do you like take a deep breath, go, okay, got to deliver this call and go, look, this is, we have to handle this challenge, but like, how do you, because I've seen leaders do this in my work experience, and I think some do it really well and some just shy away from talking about things that are kind of tricky or they don't know how to present it. What's your advice if someone's got to share something that isn't working, or we need a reset? Yeah.
I actually think authenticity and vulnerability are really important traits in leadership because they build
Mm.
trust. So if
Hmm.
I can tell, I mean, and
Hmm.
people like, let's assume the team knows. If everyone's turning
Hmm.
yellow, everybody knows. We got them, right? Like, so I can't show them like, everything's fine and all of everyone's yellow.
You
Everyone,
look great. Yeah.
right? Little hint of sun. Um, so I think
Yeah.
from my perspective is sharing the challenges, but also confidence in the plan forward. Right? So I think that's where
Mhm.
the join is
Mhm.
being vulnerable and saying, "This is a challenge." However, as the leader, my job is to show you the path to get to where we wanna go, and being
Mm.
very honest on it's a hard time, right? Like, but where you are now is not where you're going to be forever. So reminding yourself and the team that, this is where teams get really strong. And I've seen so many teams come together. I mean, listen, at those points, teams come together or they fall apart.
Those rally moments, like, okay, we're in the trenches now. Like, what do we do?
Join, right? And they really, hold hands and they're like, okay, we got this. Or they like throw their hands up and they're like, we quit and we're out, right?
And then,
and then they're probably not the right people for you anyway, because you don't
Yeah.
want people that are just going to leave you high and dry when something bad happens, because inevitably something bad will happen. And that goes for personal life too, don't you think? Like,
Oh,
it's
yes.
not always perfect, but in relationships, you want to know, regardless of if it's good or bad, I'm there for you, right?
Yes, it's like, 'cause there'll be health problems. There'll be, I mean, life happens. And so what do we share, and who could, and this is also not going through it alone, right? One of your mistakes, not
Oh, yes.
thinking, oh, I've got to power through, and oh, it has to be me. But I know, I think it's very understandable why someone would think that, because asking a question might look like, you're ignorant, or you're naive, or you should know everything. But I mean, that was a big favorite chapter for me, trying to do everything alone. One that I think is going to connect with a lot of readers once they have this book in their hands is staying too long. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is always the question, like, is there a right time to leave? How do I take the leap? And I know you've written this excellent book, Jump, also. But what do you have to say about staying too long? Because some people in my community share with me, Kim, that they're too old, or maybe it's too late, or it's scary out there and they don't have the right skills, but they'd really like to do something. But maybe they've had a job at the hospital for a long time, or a job working in education, and it just feels like, oh, I can feel that I'm sticking around too long, but the great unknown is too much.
Sticking around too long, you are. So that's the first thing. If you're thinking
Yes.
around too long, yep, you're right. And let's acknowledge,
Let's go.
Yes, the answer is yes, you've been there too long. And people say that all the time. And there's, they get stuck in these traps, which I talk about in the book, right? And staying too long, because I've stayed too long, because I was stuck in a comfort trap and an identity trap of, I'm a tech CEO, I have to stay and do this job and it's comfortable, and people are loyalty trap. I'm loyal to all my team members. I don't want to leave them. All the traps we convince ourselves of why we have to stay. Well, they're just excuses, first of all. Like, these are traps that we convince and make ourselves stay where we know we're not living up to our greatest potential. So my hope is, in that chapter, reading which trap am I in, and then and I call it the exit ramp strategy. How do I get out? Like, okay, I know I'm in this
Yes.
trap, but I also know that I can get out. And making that mental decision is hard, right? Because it's scary. It's a risking of unknown. And honestly, you're never too late to do something new. I know people that are in 20-year careers and they want to change. I mean, I was in a 20-year tech career. I'm a beverage entrepreneur now. You can be anything, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yes.
it's never too late to be what you might have been. So what do you want? And I think really being honest with yourself. And if you stay, listen, staying is a choice. So but I would rather fail than have regrets of not doing something, right? Like, the regret is dude, people look back in their life and think, I regret not doing it. Well, yeah, that is a more powerful
That's heavy.
regret.
That lasts forever. It can feel it, versus like the temporary, oh shit.
Yeah, temporary pain, right? The regret
Yes.
forever. And or the temporary embarrassment, the
Oh,
temporary,
yeah.
all these temporary feelings, right? Even back to asking for help. Temporary, you feel like you feel embarrassed or ashamed, whatever it is, but it's temporary. Like, it's worse staying somewhere you're not happy, right?
And when it comes to, I think, learning about constant change and seeing ups and downs, you speak about your dad a lot in this book, which I love, because he had, you said, a steak shop. I mean, there were so many different things that he was doing, and it took him a while to find the success that he wanted. But it seems like he was unperturbed, like he just kept moving with a great attitude. I mean, what a great role model for you. Like, as as you reflect and share the stories of your dad, does that also encourage you to want to share just the point of view that other people can there isn't like a timeline on this. It's not like you're allowed you're allowed 3 failures and then
No.
right?
Oh my gosh, my dad failed more. My dad literally, as you read the book,
Yeah,
failed
okay.
so many times. I mean, he had everything from a laundromat to a sandwich shop to a restaurant to a bar to a
Yeah.
real estate company. I mean, my dad had more
Mhm.
businesses, and it was like being on a never-ending roller coaster ride. My childhood,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
And I honestly, when I graduated, I was like, I do not want to be an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
too
Mhm.
uncertain. There's too much unpredictability. I'm I just want a stable job. What I learned, and this is so important, there is no such thing as job security. Whether you're working
Mhm.
for someone else or you're working for yourself, at any moment, like me, I was
Mhm.
fired. Someone
Mhm.
can come in and say, that's it. So
Mhm.
I would rather bet on myself and have my own and be in charge of my own destiny. If I fail, that's up to me. If I win,
Mhm.
that's on me too. But
Mhm.
leaving my destiny in someone else's hand was far scarier.
Mhm. And as you because your dad would encourage you to talk about failure, and I mean, what a healthy attitude. But I know there's one part of your book that stood out to me. As you were growing up, you were like, gosh, all of these mistakes, like it's easy to start resenting them and going, gosh, what is going on here? And then when it comes to we can observe it in others, but then when it comes to ourselves, I think we can go, am I fooling myself? Like, is anything really going to work? And I love the example of striking gold. Could you share a bit about that? Because oh, I no, I feel it. I can see it. Like I can picture the goal. Like, could you just
Oh my
share with us?
Well, one of my favorite books my dad gave me when I was
Hmm.
16 was Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, right? I love
Yes,
the book. I read it every
me
year.
too.
Read
Oh,
the
yeah.
book. Anyone listening, go read the book. And
Yes.
read my book, but read that book.
Read Kim's
Same
first.
thing,
Yes.
right? I think
Yes.
it's such a great book because it talks about a gold miner that went searching for gold, and he, he worked tirelessly and
Hmm.
then eventually gave up because, he's just like, I'm never going to hit gold, never going to hit gold. I'm just going to go sell my mining equipment to someone else and move on. So
Hmm.
he sells his equipment to somebody else. They look and get some advice from an expert. They go back to exactly where that individual was trying to find gold. And 3 feet from where that guy stood, he struck gold. It's such a great reminder about where you are right now could be so much closer to success than you think. Like, you
No.
could be just 3 feet from gold, and my dad growing up was always 3 feet from gold. I mean, like, it took
Mhm.
20 years to hit it, but he was so close, so many times, and I think, statistically, I think it's 90% of startup founders quit right before they find product market fit. And so it's
Oh,
always my background, like, am I 3 feet from gold, Suze? Am I
yeah.
2 miles from gold? Am I 2
Yeah.
am I 20 miles from gold? How close to gold am I? But I'm always thinking that, right? Am I gonna quit too
Mhm.
soon? I don't wanna, and you wanna make sure you don't because so many people quit right before they find success.
I've seen it. I've seen it, and I can sometimes like just see that fatigue again. Going back to doing everything alone, I think that sometimes exhaustion can just take over too, and we don't think clearly. We don't allow ourselves to be supported, and
Right.
so no. But I think about that too, like how close something is, and how many rejections are you away from something, and who cares? Like it's there. Like someone's gonna find it. Why not you?
Yes,
Right?
amen. I agree.
And when it comes to, one other thing that I love about this book is you speak about your intuition a lot and that being a great mentor for you and a guide for you. Do you find that that is, and you speak about, one time something looked like a great idea, but you just, something fell off and you just held off and thank gosh. And then other times you wanted to do something, but you didn't think that you were ready. Another one of the mistakes because you thought you were maybe too young or to sit on a board. How do you tap into your intuition so that you make the best idea, like, or you proceed with the right moves for you?
I mean, now I can feel it. I think actually if
Mm,
people are listening to their intuition, they can feel it too. You know that pit
mhm,
in your stomach where you're like, I just didn't that person just rubs you the wrong way or
mhm, mhm,
about it feels off. That's your
mhm,
intuition speaking. And whether it's
mhm,
a deal, a business deal, a personal relationship, just something's just off and really honing in on that and trusting it because your intuition knows things that you can't see or
mhm,
you don't they aren't visible to the eye, right? And I think that's
mhm,
really been a gift to me as I've learned to really trust it. And especially with people, right? I feel like that
Mm.
people part I can feel, and knowing, if you have butterflies, and I mean, trust me, I talk about in the book, I've gotten swayed by like the people that talk a big game and then the realities are a disaster, like they look perfect on paper, you meet them, they got tons of swagger and they're like
Yeah.
selling you on something, and then they deliver you nothing and you're going, how did I get
Damn.
wrong, right? Like
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
sold, but I think listening to your intuition is so important, like a gut
Hmm.
feeling. And the more you
Hmm.
can hone in on it and be still and quiet and really think about how does it make you feel? And that goes for business
Hmm.
opportunities too. Sometimes, like if you're staying too long, I mean, like,
You know.
I also say, in terms of what you should do, like if you're staying too long, here's two ways to decide. Are you earning? Like, have you had a raise in the last 2 years? Or are
Mhm.
you learning? Are you learning new skills that will help you be more competitive? If you can say yes to that, awesome. Like you're not staying too long because you could stay forever. I'm not saying it's a time-based stay. I'm saying it's a growth-based stay. And so
Mm.
understanding, are you growing? And if you're not, you gotta go.
Oh my, so earning or learning? It's like, and ideally both. Like ideally both. But your intuition does know. I think we're scared to listen to it sometimes, and we listen to other people and what they think and the experts. And there is a place for this, obviously, and great resources. But there is something magical about tuning into yourself, isn't there? There
Right?
something that no one else can give you. And I actually believe, especially having read this book, that I think intuition is honed through experiences. So you kind of going, oh yeah, I trusted that sales leader, and oh, you're also kind of not. I don't know if you're in a rush, but it was like you
Yeah.
needed someone, and
Yes.
then that's. I think that make it almost like compounds, like interest. Your intuition gets stronger and stronger each time. So that's another blessing of mistakes, wouldn't you say, Kim?
Yes, for sure. Your mind, to your point, I need someone to fill this position, overrides your intuition because you're just like, I just need it. But your intuition's right. No, I shouldn't have done it, but I do it anyway.
Oh my
I,
gosh, Kim, we could talk about mistakes forever. Who knew they could be so much fun? I do want to say, be the buffalo. I mean, can you just tell us about that? Because I was like, that's a highlight over there.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, yes, because so many times I have been paralyzed by fear of failure. And
Yes.
I think so many people can relate. I'm just
Mm.
not going to do it because I don't want to fail.
Yes.
But what I love about the buffalo, and if you look at, from a storm perspective, storm's coming. Everyone was running away from the storm, right? Because trying to get out of
Hmm.
the storm. The buffalo runs into the storm, right? It's bold. It's running through the storm. It gets it faster. It gets to the other side. It's not, so it's not, the storm's not chasing it. It is actually being bold and making those bold moves. And
Hmm.
so when I feel fear, I'm like, remind yourself, Kim, be the buffalo. Okay, I'm going to go into the storm. I'm going and consciously going into the storm because I know that is the easiest route, even though it may not seem like that, right? And I feel reminding ourselves to be the buffalo, Suze,
Oh
like,
my gosh. It's such a good visual. And it's like, yeah, because, only action cures fear, right? This we know. I wish there were another way, but there isn't, friends. Like,
time
and
for
so,
fear, right? It's
yeah,
always there.
it's always there. And is there, one thing I did want to ask is there like a ritual or like, you say you reread Think and Grow Rich every year? Because it's almost like to stay inspired or to stay encouraged and optimistic, I do a lot of work on myself. Like I consume a lot of inspirational material. I'm constantly creating my own stuff. Like, what do you do to stay in? Of course, we have our ups and downs no matter what, but is there any like go to, oh my gosh, can't live without thing that you do or practice or consume that's just, oh my gosh, like this helps bring you, because some people will say their faith. I mean, what would you say it is for you?
I mean, there's two for me in terms of like continuing to be like optimistic despite all the
Mhm.
chaos, right?
Yes.
One is continually self-reflecting on
Mm.
everything I'm doing all the time. Just in it regard, like with people, with purpose, with businesses, we're always reflecting, is this the best and highest use of my time? And
Mhm.
then also, and I do at every chapter in the book, it's a mindset shift, right? And I
Mhm.
write and I have mantras that I repeat to myself. And in each part of the book, in each chapter, here's the millionaire mindset, like mantra that you should be over and over thinking to yourself. And I think it's so important to have those mindset shifts all the time because that, you know, it works in your subconscious to
Mm-hmm.
have you behave differently. And I start each day
Mm.
really thinking about my intentions for the day, reflecting on what I want to accomplish, and that positive, like, be the buffalo attitude that I'm going to
Yeah.
be successful, right? Like, I tell myself, like, I got this. Like, you got this, Kim. You got this. You got this. Even when I'm like, I don't know if I got it. Oh, I got this. I got this, right? Because your mind's like, no, you don't got this. Like, I got this. I got this.
Oh, and my friends, listeners here, pay attention how this is intentional. Kim doesn't just wake up and go, I can do it. Anything's possible. Like health, wealth, success. You're choosing this like each day because you could wake up and go, oh, this sucks, and my kid's crying, and it's raining, and oh, my balance sheet looks like shit today, and you're like, I've got it. I can handle it. And
Yeah.
so, but this is very intentional. I think that some people go, oh well, you were born under a lucky star, you've got that good attitude. It's like, no, this takes work. Like,
Takes work every day. I'm constantly going through what's the mantra? What do I need to do? And depending on like the day, what I'm doing, really grounding myself in my intentions, right? And I think that's
mhm.
so important. And consistency, just consistently doing that and reminding yourself of what you want to accomplish and what you want to achieve. And it consistency pays off, right? It really does.
Oh my gosh. So, my favorite passage at the end here, if I may read, there are no spoilers, my friends. This is a must purchase book and also a joy to read, like, because the stories are so entertaining and like nothing's held back. I just think, oh, page turn. I read it at the pool. So, this is what Kim says: every mistake I made taught me something invaluable. Waiting to feel 100% ready taught me that perfection is the enemy of progress. Trying to do everything alone showed me the power of surrounding myself with supportive people. Being paralyzed by fear revealed that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action despite it. The painful lesson of picking the wrong people taught me to trust my gut. Staying too long taught me when to let go. Failing to pivot taught me the power of adaptability. And believing I was underqualified, that taught me that our biggest limitations are often self imposed. Amen. Each mistake was a lesson wrapped in an experience, waiting to be unwrapped by someone brave enough to learn from it. And guess what? I'm not done making mistakes. Part 2 to follow. uh, this book is not the end of my mistake journey. It's just another chapter. I will keep making mistakes because success isn't about getting everything right. It's about continuing to move forward even when things go wrong.
Mm.
Oh, Kim! What an incredible book. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy this is coming out into the world. Where do people go to get it? Links, all the things, please share with us.
Gosh, yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. Please, you can go to kimperell.com/Susie. Buy one, gift one. There's a gift, a free book just for your community because I mean, Suze, we have been on this journey for so long together. And I just
I know.
great. I mean, it's amazing to have such wonderful, wonderful friends. And so you're such a gift to my life. And I just want to say thank you. I want to pay it forward because someone made a bet on me a long time ago. And like my goal in life is to pay it forward and hopes that other people will do the same.
And you'll hear all about that, Granny. I got to tell you, that's a very moving story. The most gorgeous picture. Oh my, I was like, yes, when I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, this book is a must purchase. Kim Perell with one R, say KIMPERELL.com/Susie. Buy one, get one. Who doesn't love a good old BOGO? And the release date is August 2025. So, my friends, what a joy. How lucky we were to receive Kim today. Kim, I hope you'll come back. I can keep talking about this and so much more with you.
Yes, we'll do mistakes part 2. Suze. Mistakes part 2. They just keep going. We keep rolling.
And we keep laughing. So thank you so much, Kim. And my friends, until tomorrow, so much love and ease.